Jai Gurudev. First off, I want to say, if you would like, I will offer free consultations and work if you would like to become happy and learn how to feel eternal, ever conscious, ever new bliss. Um, Feel free to reach out if you want to. When I have time, I'll totally spend time with you and talk with you directly. People can feel free to donate if they wish to, but that's not the point. The point is to get the message and to help other people to realize God. So out of service to God, I will serve other people. All right. So we'll go into this little video and we'll talk about how to detach from negative emotions, how to detach from the ups and downs in life, and how to find happiness in your eternal soul. So, firstly, we have to understand what I mean by detachment. So, by detachment, I'm not saying that you're going to lose all of your human experience. That is not what detachment means. It doesn't mean that you detach from reality as people know it. In a way, you are detaching from the fake reality, but as you attach more into your own infinite blissful self, your normal, regular reality becomes more blissful, not more mundane or whatever. It's not like you just stop feeling emotions or you stop feeling, love or, whatever kind of things that you want to feel. Some people believe that reality means that you have to experience ups and downs and waves of emotions and big blah, 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 like that is not necessary in reality. Okay, I'm telling you right now that you can live as a stable state of joy and love and bliss and open awareness, and you can feel one with everybody, and you can only see the love in everybody, and you can get to a point where literally you start to experience increasing levels of joy in yourself every single day, eventually having all negative experiences, or you still have the negative, quote unquote, negative experiences if you are looking outside, but inside you're experiencing bliss and happiness. You see what I'm saying? Like you can still be around things that seem disharmonious and harmful or whatever, and you can experience still a steady state of joy. Okay, that's what I mean by detachment. I don't mean a sense of like, just flat, just bland, deadness or whatever. Like we're not we're not trying to reduce ourselves. We're trying to increase our experience of reality. Okay, so whatever people have told you about detachment, and if it's stoic or, these kinds of like, oh, I'm going to be big macho man and I'm going to detach from reality and I'm going to just never have any emotions. It's not like that. The emotions become more positive, more experiential, and more like collective. It's like you start to feel at home in yourself, in reality, no matter where you are. You don't have to be at home. You don't have to be over at any place that you normally would want to be. You don't have to, be in a fancy house, and you don't have to be anything. You could be literally homeless on the side of the road or in the most extravagant mansion, and it would be the same experience because it's an internal experience. It's not something that's dedicated to the external world being the way that you think that it should be. You start to fully give yourself to God or the soul or bliss. And what that means is that as you give up these parts of yourself which are clinging on to these negative emotions, these reactions, like these kind of push pull sensations, like I have to react or respond because I'm conditioned to respond this way, kind of a thing. Like people say that this is a negative thing, so I should feel negative about it, that kind of stuff. You don't have to experience that. You can literally just be blissful and be happy. Literally, I'm telling you that it can be a wonderful experience. Seriously, a wonderful experience. This life is way more than what you ever thought it was. Okay? This life is infinitely blissful. I'm getting chills all over my body just thinking about it. Literally. Oh, it's just like waves of bliss and joy and happiness, which are inherent in your own self. These things are literally latent inside of you. You experience little tiny, tiny little bits of them every once in a while. Like you get that little, oh man, I just feel so good right now kind of a thing. Imagine having that all the time, literally, and having it just increase to the point where you can just feel, you know, just, oh my gosh, wow, that kind of a thing. That is what I'm talking about, okay? So we're not talking about, a flat experience. We're not talking about just a mundane, boring kind of a thing. It's not like that at all. It makes everything more interesting. It makes everything just more synchronistic. Everything just starts talking to you. Literally everything. Like you can look at something and literally just truth will just flood into your consciousness. Like you could look at a leaf and then just realize the entire universe or something. Like it's like, whoa, like everything's connected together, and literally this entire experience of life is orchestrated perfectly. And if we can be in sync with that, we can see the perfection of that orchestration happening in real time. And some people call that synchronicity, or they call that like, you know, miracles or whatever. But like the thing is that miracles come from the soul's exuberance. It's hard to put it into words, but basically, like, as the soul gets more and more connected to God, it has more ability to create in the world. It has the ability to literally create reality. The soul is. I'm going to use these Indian terms, okay? But just bear with me when I say this. You are Brahma. You are Brahma. Okay? Brahma is the creator. The soul is the creator. Okay? There are incountable Brahmas that they say in the Indian philosophy. What does that mean? They're incountable souls, literally. So they're incountable, full godly creators in latency, which are blooming into their God selves. And that's what, oh my gosh, I'm literally chills still, like, because it's just so wonderful. Like, once you see this, once you realize this, once you experience this, it's just, it's just the most amazing thing. Literally, it's just the most amazing thing. So, this message is trying to show you something, right? It's like it's just pointing at the nature of yourself, right? I'm gonna go into a detachment now, so this is halfway maybe through the video. So, what is detachment really? What detachment really means is detaching the mind from the body, the mind. Okay, so sorry, detaching the self, the self. I called it the mind, but like it's like you start with the mind, but then the mind eventually detaches from itself in a way. It becomes an eternal mind, meaning like it's like the observer is what they call that or whatever, but it's like a infinite consciousness which is infinitely aware. So like the more that the consciousness detaches from the mind, the more it becomes an infinite consciousness, which it already was. But the mind inside of the body is limited to the physical complex of whatever kind of genes you had made up or whatever. So it's like some minds in a body are only capable of experiencing so much understanding about things because of the fact that they're limited by their physical nature, you know. But even those minds, if they were to detach from the mind completely, they would still experience an infinite consciousness, and they could become saintly God realized people. You see what I'm saying? So it's like there's no limit to the amount of love, wisdom, and just awareness or awakeness, aliveness, if you want to call it like that, that you can experience. And it's all dependent on your identification with your infinite self. So detachment really is not detaching from reality, it's attaching to reality, the reality. Not this temporary mortal experience, but the reality of God or the soul. You see what I'm saying? So the soul, one with God, the soul, you see, God, the soul and God are not separated from each other, okay? So a lot of people or religions and things try to separate the concept of soul and God. But the thing is that the soul is infinite and God is infinite. There's not a separate thing from that. It's only, Ramakrishna put it this way, it's like if you have a river, you know, you see the river, and that river would be like God, and then you put a stick in the river and you separate it, you know, you got one side of the river and then you got another side. That stick is like the the mind ego complex. It's like the thing, like the veil, or you know, Maya, or whatever you want to call it, you know. So it's like the stick, you can just pick it up, and then all of a sudden you see that there was no separation between both sides of the water. It was always one stream of water, which was always streaming. You see what I'm saying? But there was a whole bunch of sticks in there separating it into a bunch of little sections, and people were identifying with those little sections. You see what I'm saying? So it's like each one of those little separations is like a soul, but eventually those souls will have to merge back into the one. And that's not a scary thing. I promise you, it's not a scary thing. Okay, this reality that we're living in right now is the scary thing. Okay, this thing is the suffering. This is where the suffering happens, right? You don't suffer in a soul. Once you're identified with your soul, you don't suffer anymore. Okay, suffering falls away, and then the only thing that's left is bliss or eternal awareness of yourself as one with God. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, don't be afraid of merging with God, because literally that's the most blissful thing that could ever happen. Okay, God is infinite consciousness, infinite love, infinite bliss. So don't be afraid to merge with that. Okay, first of all. Secondly, don't be afraid of death, because death is only an illusion, just the same way as this life is an illusion. You see what I'm saying? So this life is only a temporary experience being experienced by an infinite consciousness, an infinite soul, eternal, ever conscious, ever new, ever blissful, eternal, infinite. Try to just contemplate what those words mean. Eternal. That means you never die, literally. So this death that we call death in this life is really only just transition from one experience to another. You see, because the soul is just experiencing all of the different experiences. And honestly, once we realize the soul in this lifetime, we can see those experiences and we can download the wisdom from those experiences. We can remember who we are and what we've been and what we are and what we're becoming. You see what I'm saying? There's no time in the soul. So you can see the past and the present and the future as the soul. That's how so many saints and other things can know what the future is, tell you what's going to happen, that kind of stuff. because of the fact that time is only an illusion, just the same way as this reality is only an illusion. So these things, they are heavy, right? So these things, like, I'm making them light because I feel light about them, but I can feel in my heart that when people watch this, it's going to be hard to understand or to grasp, and that's okay. Just stick with it if you can. If you feel fear coming up, just please understand that's only the ego trying to grasp on to whatever it can to try to make itself feel as though it's in control. You see what I'm saying? Just let it go. Just be in the moment. Feel God's presence in this moment. Feel the fact that you're an eternal, infinite soul which can never die. Feel the fact that love is present in the room. Feel the fact that God is present with you all the time. And God is ever peaceful, ever loving, and that you're protected and you're safe and secure. Everything's okay. That's what the soul feels like. I get goosebumps like whenever, because it's such a wonderful feeling to feel as though you're just loved and protected by God all the time. And to feel that God is moving you to do everything. And you don't have to put any effort into anything. Imagine that, right? Like doing everything effortlessly. That's what they're talking about in the Buddhism when they talk about enlightened people or whatever. There's no effort in anything because the soul doesn't have to use energy because it's infinitely connected to God, which is energy itself, you know? So it's like, or one of the aspects of God is energy. So it's like, once you're connected into God, you have an infinite flow of energy to do whatever it is that God wants you to do. You see what I mean? And like, if you understand, you should understand also that if God is infinitely loving, infinitely kind, infinitely blissful, then following that will, you know, is probably going to make you feel more blissful, more loving, more joyous, more happy, that kind of stuff. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you think that you're going to become some sort of slave to God. It's not like that, okay? there's there's no joy which is greater than serving God. There's no joy that is greater than feeling God's presence all the time. There's no joy that is greater than feeling God's bliss all the time. So I'm not even talking about how to detach. It's weird because it's just like, I'm just telling you the benefits of detachment. So maybe I'll go into more of like how to detach in a minute, but like, I gotta just show you at least, you know, what it is that you're even looking for, you know, like, why would you want to detach? Like, why would you want to detach from your body, mind, spirit complex or whatever, this thing that we're experiencing? We want to attach only to the soul, okay? Only to the spirit. So the body, mind, ego complex, I guess, not the body, mind, spirit, because the spirit is the one that's running the show, basically. The Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, you know? The mother. I'll go into that too. What does Father, Son, Holy Spirit mean? Really? What did Jesus mean when he said, love your neighbor as yourself? Why would he say that? Because your neighbor is yourself. There's no separation. There is only one God. There is only one reality. There is only one true self. You see what I'm saying? So like, that is Christ consciousness. When you can love yourself and you can love God, meaning that you love God because God is everything. You are part of everything. So that means God is part of you. You are part of God. So when you love God, you're truly only loving yourself, and when you're loving yourself, you're only truly loving God. You see what I'm saying? So like, no matter if somebody's full of ego or if they're full of God love, they're still loving God, and they just don't know it. You see what I'm saying? Like, all of it is God. So there's literally, there's only God to love. And so once you realize that, then all of your consciousness is just going to go straight to God, and then all of that love is just going to come straight back to you because God is living inside of you. You see what I'm saying? So as you love God, you're just going to feel it inside yourself. Literally, that's part of the whole realization. Okay, so God bless you. I'll make another one on detachment. I promise I'm actually going to start making videos regularly now. I'm sorry I didn't before, but I was still slightly attached in ego consciousness. But recently, we've had this deeper awakening, which has brought about a state of steady bliss and love. So now I wish to transfer that to you. And I love you, and I love God in you, and I wish to continue experiencing this steady state of bliss, love, and consciousness. So I pray to God, and I pray that He continues to move me and use me to do His will, and that I continue to put all of my attention onto God and only do His will. I love you, God, and I love you, people. Thank you. Goodbye.